stream where we have multiple activists from around the world all broadcasting from outside slaughter facilities to show you exactly what is actually happening to these animals. So the slaughterhouse I'm currently at is called Evara. This certain location is in Brackley near Oxford, and here they kill millions and millions of birds every single week in gas chambers. Now the gas chamber that I'm talking about is literally here. So this is the gas chamber here, and we have birds on site already waiting to go inside over here. So they've been there for maybe like an hour, 45 minutes waiting to go in. Unfortunately, there's a lot of security on site today. They've obviously known that something is going on. We have myself, we have another activist called John, and activist Mel and Steve who are around the other side here. So it's pretty much all go today. So let me try and show you what I can show you currently. So as I was explaining before, these animals are killed in a gas chamber, and this location here is where the gas chamber is actually sited. Now basically what will happen is, actually if we walk down to the truck over here, I can show you one of the chicken trucks. It is actually empty currently, but it will give you an idea of kind of, you know, what these animals are being transported in. So this here is a typical chicken slaughterhouse truck, and as you can see, there are, how many crates? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 10 up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So that's 100. So there is 100 crates on this side. So, and these will be full of chickens. Obviously, this is an empty one currently. So you've got 100 on this side, and 100 again on this side. So it just gives you an idea of the scale, of the amount of birds that would be in here. And all these crates will be actually packed full of these animals. And then they'll be taken into this building here, like I explained before, which is the gas chamber. This truck would basically go around to the other side of the building, where they'd be loaded off of the trucks on a forklift, and then loaded into this area here, which is the gas chamber. And inside that gas chamber, what it is it's dense CO2 gas, okay? And that basically suffocates them to death. And then once they come out of there, heads cut off, process. This is what is happening to millions and millions of animals. Now, I'd love to know who's in the chat right now. If you're a vegan, please give us a number 1. If you're a non-vegan, give us a number 2. Let's see who is in here. Let me see, I've got to work out how to actually get the chat up because I've not used this for a while. So bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, we've got someone in. Savvy Coops, hey, how you doing? Yeah, thanks for tuning in. So yeah, 1 if you are a vegan in the chat, 2 if you are non-vegan, and 3 if you are someone who is open-minded and, you know, maybe wanting a conversation about this and is willing to learn more. Now, once they come out of the slaughterhouse, obviously, and they're being processed, now I'm not going to be able to show you that much here just because there's nothing really coming out, but I'll do my best to show you. You'll see here, if I can show you, see this right here. This conveyor belt basically brings all the insides, all the waste products, as they call them, and dump them into this large container here. This is where they get dumped. And no doubt, like once some of these trucks have gone in, we'll probably see the remains coming out of that machine. And you can see how utterly disgusting it is. Now over here is where all of the chickens are currently waiting. So if we think about what I just said a minute ago, so we've got 4 trucks here. Each truck, 200 crates. Okay, that's 800 crates. Okay, think about that for a second. Just 800 crates. Every single crate has probably got between maybe 15 to 20 birds. So I mean, I'm not that quick on the maths, but if someone wants to work that out, that's a hell of a lot of lives there waiting to go into this gas chamber and eventually come out of that machine that I just showed you momentarily. Now, the point that, you know, we are trying to make doing these streams is that these things are completely unnecessary, and we really need to change the way that we think about animals, and that we, you know, and just the way that we just perceive animals in general in our society. Animals are not here for us to use. They're not here for us to exploit or abuse. They are their own sentient living beings. And currently, in those trucks behind me are thousands and thousands of lives that all they want to do is to live. That's all they want to do. They just want to continue their lives, but yet they have been forced into this world to be processed up and everything and served to us on a plate for what is essentially, a 30-second meal, okay? We've really got to think about what we are doing and how unfair this is to these creatures. Anyone that has spent time with chickens knows that these are just not dumb animals that don't have any emotions and don't feel or anything like that. They are extremely intelligent. I myself have had chickens myself which were rescued. Oh, there's something going on. Sorry, John, you've dropped something. Sorry, we've got a few activists here. John's running down the road. I'm not sure currently what's happening. But yeah, I can't remember what I was saying now. But yeah, the point is, like, this is all completely unnecessary. This is literal animal exploitation and abuse. And we really need to change the way that we are viewing animals to make a better society for them and for us. This isn't doing nobody any favors. And this extends further than just what we see here. This isn't just about slaughterhouses. This is about the entire kind of structure that we have of abusing animals, whether that's using them for clothing, using them for entertaining, using them for scientific experimentation, all that kind of stuff. Let's answer some of the things in the chat anyway. If you are a vegan, press 1. If you're a non-vegan, press 2. And if you're open to a conversation, please press 3. Let's have a look. So someone's saying it's an unhealthy diet. Do you want to prove evidence of that? Do you want to prove evidence of that? I haven't eaten meat myself since 2002, longer than some people that have probably been alive in this chat. I haven't eaten any animal products at all for over a decade. The biggest health organizations on the planet also confirm that this is completely healthy and optimal for people. This is misinformation, and it's up to you to try and prove otherwise. No vegan tells me what to eat. This is the way you've got to think about it, okay? I'm not telling you not what to eat. I'm telling you who not to abuse and exploit, which leads to you eating them, okay? We've got to look at this as a different thing, okay? We're not talking about a food here. We're talking about an actual living, breathing being, okay? This is where we've got to change our mindset. Chicken is not something we just buy from Tesco and served up on a plate. They are a bird. They are a bird with emotions, feelings, and a will to live, just like we do. And that's something that needs to be respected. Balanced diets is healthier than a vegan diet for the majority of people. Provide evidence. Okay, provide evidence. This is you can say all these things, but unless you're providing evidence, this makes no sense at all. If you want my evidence, go and look up the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, which is the biggest collective of nutritionists and dietitians on the planet. They have made a peer review statement that says that a plant-based diet is healthy for all stages of life and can provide everything that we need. So unless you want to try and debunk the biggest health organization on the planet, then good luck. But here's some things we can kind of look at anyway. We can see on the floor here, countless feathers. All of these feathers from all these birds, they will all be dead now. Every single one of them, in their millions. Again, we're at this truck. Okay, for those of you that were just tuned in, this truck is the general truck that would hold chickens. We've got chickens down there, but the security are obviously not letting us near them currently. There is 100 crates this side and 100 crates the other side. Every one of these crates will probably contain 15 to 20 chickens. So if someone wants to do the maths, you can see the insane scale of what is going on. When it comes to the food industry, we're slaughtering around 70 billion land animals every year, 2.7 trillion marine animals. We're talking more animals being killed per year just in the food industry than the entire of the human population since the dawn of time. This is the numbers that we're currently dealing with, okay? And what else I was going to say is, again, this is just one part of this industry. This is just chickens. This is just the food industry. We're not even talking about the clothing industry. We're not talking about vivisection. We're talking about the animals abused and exploited for our entertainment. There are so many ways in which we look to abuse others, and we've really got to change our mindset and start seeing animals for the individuals that they are. What a stupid cause. I mean, what a stupid thing to say. You're literally here trying to defend the death of baby birds. So who's the stupid one? The one actually trying to defend animals not being abused and dying, or someone here trying to defend it because they like the taste of a chicken drumstick? Get over yourself. Right, if meat eaters did this, the world would be contradicting themselves, wouldn't they? I don't know what's been said there. I'm just kind of scrolling back. Vegans have risk of whatever, provide evidence, whatever. I can't be bothered to read what you're saying, but no evidence has been provided anyway. Says people who think killing plants isn't murder. Prove that killing plants is murder, considering plants have no central nervous system, they have no consciousness, they don't feel anything, they act purely on just intelligent reactions to things, and that's basically it. So no, plants are not the same. If you think plants are the same, then when someone cuts open a cucumber, why aren't you calling them out about it? When someone peels a potato, are you there protesting? No, because you know that argument's dumb as fuck. So let's not mess around saying stupid shit. It doesn't work, okay? It does not work. There is zero evidence, and you just sound stupid. We've got a guy up here who is literally shuffling all the insides around. You can see he's masked up, obviously, because you know, this is not a nice job to be doing here. But what's not nice in the slightest is that, you know, the amount of dead animals and birds inside here. I don't know if we can kind of see anything. You can see some bits kind of stuck to the rollers there and everything. As chickens are doing and as the things are getting processed, I will do my best to try and show you those things happening. At the moment, I don't really know what's going on. We've got a lot of trucks just at a standstill, so everything's a bit kind of static currently. You look malnourished. Do I? Yeah, whatever. Clearly not malnourished. This just makes me hungry. If animal abuse and animal exploitation makes you feel hungry, then see a doctor. That's what I'd advise. Like, no one should be getting hungry when we're talking about abuse. Imagine if this was a dog slaughterhouse for a second and everything. And actually, let's talk about dogs, because that's quite interesting. People kick and scream, you know, if like the Yulin Dog Meat Festival, and be like, we can't eat dogs, we can't do this. And I bet most of you moaning at me would be doing exactly the same. If I was at a dog slaughterhouse, you'll be like, what a hero. Yeah, save all the dogs. But I mean, we don't even respect dogs in our society. So let's really talk about that. Obviously, we've got like the Yulin Dog Meat Festival and everything, which is one example of how we exploit dogs. But when we just look at it in general, you know, think about the amount of breeds that we have, which have been bred into existence with all these, you know, flat faces, all these features and stuff, just purely for cosmetics, purely because we think they look nice, like French bulldogs, pugs, for example, who suffer greatly with breathing problems, with their bones, with their muscles, all these kind of things, because they've been bred to become these basically genetic monsters. Like, we're not even a nation of dog lovers. We do so much things, even like keeping dogs in our home. We love dogs, and dogs obviously have a great relationship with us. But really, should they be there? Should we have been breeding these animals into existence to be companions? And do you realise how many of them are not looked after, end up in pounds, end up abused and everything? This system is not good for these animals whatsoever. Okay, like, yes, like I've said, like, that we can have some joy and everything from having, you know, animals in our lives as pets and things like that. But realistically, we're not doing them any favours. We took them on because it was a selfish want, because we wanted an animal. They don't choose where they want to live. They don't choose anything. You know, we decide when they go out to go to the toilet. We decide when we feed them. So our whole society is built on seeing animals as a means to an end for us, for selfish wants, whether it be the chickens here, whether it be the dogs and cats that we have at home. And this is a mindset that we really, really need to change. Your life must suck being this mad all the time. Well, I tell you what though, I've got a reason to be annoyed. I've got a reason because animals are being abused and exploited. You're here being triggered and annoyed because you might have to eat a different type of sausage if you know, if we can stop the meat industry. That is why you're here. You're here triggered because you can't pick up something different off a shelf. You can't go, you know what, I'll pick up soy milk instead of normal milk. So who's the more justified in being angry and triggered here? I think it'll probably be the activists here, the people that actually care about justice, that care about others, because this is what these animals are. They are others. We're not talking about random items. We're not outside like a lamp shop, you know, saying lamp rights. You know, these animals are living, breathing, sentient, conscious beings that just want to live. You reported my YouTube channel. Well done. You've done nothing. And please keep commenting, by the way, because the trolls always forget. The more comments I get, the more you're pushing me in the algorithm, the more people are more likely to see this. So I encourage you to keep talking nonsense, because that is actually helping our cause and pushing it to more people. So thank you very much for all your work. False reporting is against terms of service. It doesn't matter, he's not going to do anything anyway, let's be fair, isn't it? Roscoe shitting out a big juicy steak he had last night. Anyway, let's find out who's in the chat. If you are a vegan, please press type number 1. If you are a non-vegan, number 2. And if you are here and open-minded, you know, you're a non-vegan but you're open-minded to a conversation, put number 3. Let's just see how many actual open-minded people that we have in the chat. So we got a couple of 1s here. We got a number 2, which is Hugh. We got a 1, 2 and a 3. So I'm not sure what that means, but I appreciate you being here. The fact you've written a 3 is, I'm going to assume you're fairly open-minded. But if you guys have got any questions, let me know. Like I said, we're outside a chicken slaughterhouse in the UK here. They kill millions and millions of birds every single week. Now I'm going to go for a bit of a walk again and let's see if we can see anything, because I know some of you have just tuned in. So over here, for those of you who haven't been watching, these are the trucks with the chickens in. Now, each one of these trucks has 200 crates. Inside each crate, about 15 to 20 chickens within each of them. They have been there nearly for 2 hours now. Yeah, 2 hours? Yeah. This is John, by the way. Hold on, if I can flip around. If you want to go see John's perspective, go to John ARA on YouTube. There's a link in my description for the Project Livestream app. And if you want to, chat to John and get his perspective on this, please feel free. John, do you want to say anything to everybody?
The only thing I've got to say, Chris, is those birds, I don't know if you can see them on the left, that is finally moving now. I've been in that well over 2 hours. That arrived when I was here, and that was 2 hours ago, exactly, over 2 hours. So...
And we think they're moving now. We think that,
yeah.
So we might be able to show you the birds inside, although he's now getting out of the truck, so I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, 2 hours, these poor birds have been stuck in there. And you've got to bear in mind, these birds were in these large sheds. That's where most of the chicken comes from, and they're not all out in fields like the adverts are going to lie to you. And even if they were, they still end up coming here, so it makes no difference. But the majority of these birds would have come from big industrialized sheds. They would have been caught in the middle of the night by catchers, where basically they'll just pick them up and throw them into the crates. If you want to see exactly what that entails, Animal Justice Project on YouTube did a very in-depth investigation into catching groups to show you the violence and the brutality of even that aspect. And then, you know, they are then brought here in these crates, not knowing what the hell is going on. Bear in mind, this is the first time these birds have probably ever experienced sunlight, okay? And that's something you should really, really think about. These animals are seeing sunlight for the first ever time just before they're about to get their heads chopped off. This is what we do to these animals. And you might not realize these animals are only 6 to 8 weeks old. That's all they are. These are literal babies, these animals. So I'm going to go back and show you the slaughter truck again, for those of you who didn't see. And like I said before, if you look around on the floor here, you can see a lot of the feathers of the birds that have come off. You can smell it from here as well. I mean, obviously you can't smell it through the phone, but you can see just feathers, 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 feathers of all birds that have now passed away. And again, this is close up of the truck. And like I said before, we got 100 crates on this side and 100 crates on the other side. 200 crates full of chickens. Thank you, Roscoe, for continuing to spam and pushing the live stream. I appreciate you. Just seeing if there was any other questions, because unfortunately the screen is very dark because of the sun, so I'm finding it difficult to see what everyone's saying. But But yeah, please, let us know who you are in the chat if you're tuned in. See, we've got a few people in. If you're vegan, number 1. If you're anti-vegan, number 2. If you're open-minded and want a conversation, number 3. Let's have a talk about it. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, let's see what else I can show you. Unfortunately, actually the one truck's just gone in, so we could probably take you around the other side and show you loading them. So let's maybe walk around there and we can see what's happening there. So this is a huge facility. Right here, behind this door, that's where the gas chamber is. That's where these animals will meet their fate. And for those of you that have never experienced what a gas chamber is like for these animals, essentially these crates here, they'll be taken off onto a forklift, and then they will basically be lifted up and put into a chamber of dense CO2 gas. And in there, they basically will burn from the inside. Like, it is extremely aversive. It is a horrible experience. If you go on YouTube and just search for chicken gas chamber, there have been plenty of exposés of people that have put secret cameras, and you can see what these animals have to go through. And it is honestly terrible. It's honestly awful. Where are you? So I'm outside an industrial chicken slaughterhouse called Avara, which is in Brackley near Oxford in the UK. And this is a part of a larger project that's going on today called Project Livestream. Now, I'm not the only person streaming from outside a slaughterhouse, and if you can see in the distance here, we've got some activists down there that are also broadcasting. We've also got a guy called John who's currently around the other side, and there are people all over the UK and all over the world later will be broadcasting from outside slaughterhouses to show you the reality of what has been going on. Now, if you want to check out these, if you go into my description, there is a link to a webpage for the Project Livestream app, where every single person who is live will be on there, and you can click between them and you can see what's going on. You can get different people's opinions, different slaughterhouses, different animals, and see what is actually happening right now. Because a lot of people end up seeing videos online and end up being like, but this happened, years ago, this isn't relevant anymore. This is all live now. We are at these sites as we speak. So we know for a fact that one of these trucks has now gone round the back. Okay, so let me tell you the journey that they're currently taking. Those trucks here would have been coming down this road here. They go round to the other side of the building where they'll be unloaded, which is the opposite side to this building that I'm in front of here. The other side. This is the gas chamber. Again, for those of you that have just tuned in. Those birds will be coming round, they'll be getting unloaded. They'll be then put into that gas chamber here, and the remains of those birds will come out behind me here into these waste bins. So you may see the process. For those of you that tuned in a while ago, you would have seen the trucks over there. So you would have known there was birds there. Those birds will be coming out of this machine soon. For what? How do we justify this? I don't care if people like the taste of something. That is not a justification to exploit, abuse, and kill somebody. Okay? It is a pathetic excuse that we need to drop. Okay? We've got to remember, again, these are living, breathing beings. These are birds. No different to the birds that we see in the sky and that we go, oh, look at them. Look at these pretty birds everywhere. Actually, here's a perfect example. I don't know if you can see there. If I can zoom in on them. There's a pigeon up there. You imagine, okay, and people don't like pigeons, okay, but you imagine if someone in the street grabbed this pigeon off of the street and cut their head off and ate them, you would think they're a psychopath, wouldn't you? But that's only because you've been conditioned to, for some reason, think that that's weird, but what's happening to these birds is absolutely fine. Because it's exactly the same. To the victim, there is no difference whatsoever. They both suffer, they're both exploited, they both die, and it's completely unnecessary. I've got some messages on here, bear with me because the sunlight is making my screen very dark, but I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of shade to read what you're saying. You seem to have written a lot. Are you just spamming the same thing over and over again? Let me see. Sir, if you can give me one good reason to be vegan, I will. Okay, the one good reason to be vegan is it's the right thing to do. If you care about others, if you care about justice, if you care about other beings not being exploited and abused for no good reason, that is exactly why you should be vegan. It's as simple as that. If you value your own life, there is no reason you shouldn't value the lives of these animals, because what is the difference? Really, they might look different to us, everything, maybe they've got fur or scales or fins or all these different types of things, but why does that make a difference when they all have the capacity to feel? They're all conscious, they're sentient, they want to live, they have a will to live, they have families the same as us, they have everything that we have, maybe in a more basic form, but why does that matter? So if you actually care about justice in any form, then that is exactly why you should be vegan. Because this is what these animals need, justice. It's completely unnecessary, and you can try. I mean, I have been doing this now for over a decade. Okay, I have been into slaughterhouses, I've been into factory farms, I've been into all these different things, and it's all the same shit. It's all the same. I was trying to get out of the way of here because there's a truck doing some maintenance here. I'm not really sure what they're doing, but I understand it's going to be very noisy, so apologies if you can't hear me. But yeah, we'll stand back by the machine because, like I said, at some stage, once those birds that have come round have gone in, then we will see their insides, and their discarded body pieces come out of there. And it's honestly disgusting. Hey Henshi, how's it going? Thank you for tuning in. So for those of you tuned in, let me know who is tuned in again. Type 1 if you're vegan. Type 2 if you are anti-vegan. And if you're open to a conversation, give us a number 3. Let's see if there's any open-minded people in here who are open to having their mind changed. And I hope, is it Sean Vanderberg? I hope that you are open-minded and you listen to what I said. And I'd love to know your opinion on what I said. This is what these streams are about, educating people. So we just want to know what's going on. So yeah, so we are just waiting again to see what happens to these poor birds. If need be, I'll take us around the other side and we can see them getting unloaded. I went to prison for 2 years for filming inside a slaughterhouse. Really? Well, tell me more about that. And thank you so much for going inside and doing that. That's incredible work. There are a lot of people in this movement that really do put their life and their freedom on the line to expose these things. And it just shows how protected, why should this person, if they're being legit here, why should they have gone to prison for going inside a slaughterhouse just to show what goes on? Shouldn't that be public knowledge? You're not gonna go into prison for 2 years for going inside somewhere that, makes microchips, or going inside somewhere that makes furniture. No one's gonna give a shit, right? What's that? Oh, he's coming down here now. Oh, okay, so there's a truck coming around, so we might be able to show you some of the birds. Just so you know, I am going to be trying to take photos at the same time. I'm an undercover photographer, so yeah, bear with us, and we might be able to show you some of the birds very soon as they come round. So yeah, we will see what happens. Yeah, but what I was saying is, the fact that people are going to prison and all these kind of things, but literally exposing this, this should just be public knowledge, right? Everyone should just be able to say, you know what, I want a tour of a slaughterhouse and be shown around, because why should it be a problem? Why is there so much security here? So yeah, so we're just waiting for another truck to come round. I've been told by John, the other activist. Roscoe is saying we're changing nothing. Well, Roscoe, I think if you actually go and do some research on the animal rights movement, you'll see the amount of change that is actually happening. Recently, an entire dog breeding facility for the animal testing industry has closed down and every single dog has been liberated. Look up Ridgeland Farms and see what animal activists were doing there and tell me that we're not making any change there. Did you know that animal activists banned fur across the entire of California? The entire of California. Fur has obviously been banned from the UK. These are all things that animal rights activists have done. Things do change, okay? And it's people like you which hold these things back because you're like, oh, you're never going to get anywhere, you're not going to do anything, because you're not going to do anything. You're going to sit there and you're going to moan at the people that are trying to make change while doing absolutely nothing yourself and trying to defend this system. Why are you here trying to defend huge corporations who profit from the exploitation and abuse of animals? Because that's what you are doing. You're on the side of, you know, conglomerate KFC and McDonald's and places like that, rather than being, you know, for the little guy, for the, you know, for animals that are being abused. You want to defend the people that are billionaires that just want to feed you shit. So pick your side. I know which side I'm on anyway. There's security because of vegan twats like you who are trying to destroy property. So what property have we been destroying exactly? I think since we've been here, 0 property has been destroyed. In fact, I haven't even really trespassed. Like, this is their line here. Like, the most someone's done is walk over the line here. So you're talking crap. All we're doing is broadcasting and stating an opinion. And if you don't like the opinion, you can try and combat it, or you can just scroll by. Nothing's forcing you to be here. Not you specifically, but just others. Okay, well, put it this way. There are some people out there that will go and destroy property, okay? But this is how I want you to think about that. Would you be annoyed if someone, you know, if there was someone, say, abusing a dog next door to you, okay, and no one would do anything about it, and someone kicked in the door and broke a window to go and rescue those animals? Would you see that as a problem, or would you see that as necessary? Would you see it a problem if someone had facilities to torture somebody, if someone went into that place and they destroyed those, those machines of torture? Would that be a bad thing? No, none of these things would. Like, yes, some property is being destroyed, but you've got to think of the reasons why. Why are they being destroyed? They're being destroyed to protect others. There is a justification. This isn't just mindless vandalism for no reason, okay? There's a victim involved. This is what people forget about, okay? There are actual victims involved here. These aren't just, like I said, this isn't just people just smashing up shit and doing stuff for nothing. I'm not here for nothing. I'm here for these fucking thousands and thousands of birds that are here. That is why we are here, okay? And when you actually have a victim in mind, all these things look a lot different. Okay, there are justifications to do things. I'm not here advocating people go out and smash shit up, but I understand why stuff does. Okay? I'd like to apologize for my previous language. You actually seem all right. Cool, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Like, you know, I'm passionate, as you can probably tell, but, you know, but it's difficult. It's difficult for me being in a place like this. Hold on. There's literally chickens coming in right now. I don't know if we'll be able to see them. So this is a truck full of chickens. See, look, justify this. Justify why she is about to die. Tell me why any of these animals should now go to their death. What did this individual do to deserve this? Tell me. That is why I'm passionate. All those birds are going to go into a fucking gas chamber. All those birds are getting their heads cut off today. That is why I'm passionate, okay? That is why I get sick of people coming up with stupid excuses for such horrors like this, okay? Like I said, if this was, any other animal, if this was cats, you imagine if that was kittens in there, you think how many people would be kicking off. But when it comes to these birds, everyone wants to, just act blind, like, no, this doesn't happen, I want to ignore it because I like KFC, I like chicken drumsticks, I like chicken nuggets. It's not on. It's not right. It's not right at all. Let's go and see what else. Thank you, British Keys. I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. I know obviously we're on opposite sides. Well, actually, I'd like to ask you a question if that's okay. Because I feel that you're someone we can have a civil conversation with. What is stopping you from being on the side of the animals? What is realistically stopping you from not supporting all of this? Not supporting all the industries that exploit animals, whether that be for our entertainment, for animal testing, for all these things. What do you think it is that's holding you back? I'd be interested, and we can have a civil conversation because I respect people that are honest. Obviously there's a lot of trolls in here, and obviously they can get fucked and they can just keep writing their triggered things and boosting this video in the algorithm. But yeah, I'm interested in talking to genuine people. You seem like a genuine person, so I appreciate that. Bear with me that I can't read the screen very well though because of the sunlight. I'm trying. Just scrolling back in case anyone wrote anything. Let me know what you thought about the chickens coming in. Like, do any of you have any questions? Did it make you feel anything at all? Were you just confused about what's going on? Like, I don't know if you're new into the chat, let me know. Again, let me know if you will, if you haven't. Type of 1 if you're a vegan already, 2 if you are anti-vegan, 3 if you are someone who's open-minded and is willing to have a chat and learn more about this particular topic. And for those of you that aren't finding this interesting for whatever reason, I really encourage you to go into the description. There is a link for the project live stream website. Now, what's going on today is not just me outside a slaughterhouse. There are people everywhere outside slaughterhouses, and everyone's live streaming, and you can hop on their streams and see what's going on, ask them questions, see what their perspective is, see what's going on in all different parts of the country, all different parts of the world. Obviously, it's mostly the UK at the moment, just because obviously of the time, but there are people, someone from Taiwan is going live later. I think people possibly in Spain, in the US, in Canada. We've already had people in Australia. So this is a worldwide thing going on today. This isn't just me. I'm with another 3 activists just here at this one facility. Let's see what people are doing here. Now he wants money. When has anyone been asking for money? What are you on about? But if anyone wants to donate to the Animal Rights Cause, feel free, and we'll spend it on making these couple people in the chat even more triggered by doing more activism and trying to actually save animals instead of being like them and sitting here trying to defend animal abuse because, oh my God, they might not be able to have a chicken nugget anymore. Boo fucking who, get over yourselves. Right? Honestly, I came here just to troll first, but I'm not sure what exactly it is. It's just the food. Mate, I fully appreciate you being honest again there. Like, a lot of people do come and just troll, and I appreciate that you stopped and listened to me. So, yeah, credit to you. And this is what I'd kind of tell you is I get it. I get what you think. Like, obviously, this is so normalised, isn't it? Like, we've all been brought up to eat animal products, whether it's meat, dairy, eggs, all different types of things. Is so normal in our society. Obviously, it's extremely convenient. Obviously, we know exactly what we're doing. So breaking that conditioning isn't always the easiest thing. But I tell you what, I became a vegetarian back in 2002, and then I became vegan 11 years ago now. And honestly, it is not as difficult, and you do not miss out as what people think. I would honestly say, and I mean this honestly, I'm not just saying it for the cause, but I honestly probably eat better food, more tasty food, a more wide range of food now than I ever did before. It has opened my eyes up to all these other options, which I just didn't think about because I never had to. You know, you'd go to a restaurant and you know you're going to get a burger, right? You know you're going to get this, and then you suddenly go, oh, what else is on the menu? And you start trying all these different things, and suddenly it's like, damn, like there's so much food in the world that you've never tried. And yeah, honestly, I've never eaten better. And realistically, it's just you just got to break. It's just breaking that conditioning, and the way to start is just to not think of the how do I do this, but really deeply understand the why you should. And obviously, this is the reason. You know, I will show you right now. There's another chicken truck about to come out. I don't know how close we're going to get to this truck, but we'll try. Thousands and thousands of lives there. That's the why. You can see the activists running down the road after them. That's why we do this. And that's why you should too. Because if you think about it, you know, logically, you're just like, why on earth are these thousands and thousands of birds about to go to their death? Why is that justified? Just for a quick 2-minute taste pleasure. You know, it's crazy when you look at it, and the more you go down that kind of rabbit hole, so to speak, and you start looking at the scale and what's going on, you just realise the whole thing is fucked. It's fucked. You know, like, you know, the industry tries to pump all these things to us, you know, like, oh, but, you know, it's red tractor approved, or it's free range, it's all humane. Every single animal is still being literally forced into existence. Like, we're breeding these animals for this purpose, you know, not from their own doing. You know, they're not like just deciding to breed themselves. You know, we're forcibly making these things happen. You know, and we're genetically modifying the animals at the same time. You know, we're doing this just to keep them in captive, to keep them captive, to exploit and profit from their bodies. We know this is wrong. History, I don't even need to explain what I'm talking about here, but history has already shown that others should not be property. We should not be using others without their consent. You know, this is just an obvious thing, and I don't blame everyone because we've been conditioned to think like this, but I think we've all just got to stop and take a step back and go, what the fuck is going on? Honestly, what is going on? Like, it's honestly crazy. I actually might look a bit more in seeing the chickens was a bit of an eye-opening, not saying definitely. Mate, that's awesome. The fact you're even going to look into it, from coming in, being a troll, and now you want to go look into it, I'll take it. I'll take it, man. If you want a recommendation, I don't know where you are. Actually, you're from the UK, aren't you? So I would say, okay, so there's two things I'd recommend if you want to watch something. There's a documentary which is all UK based called Land of Hope and Glory, which is on YouTube, put together by a guy called Earthling Ed. Some of my footage is actually in there. I'm not going to say which bits, but there is stuff that I filmed personally in that documentary. That is just shows you what goes on in the UK. But I'd really recommend if you really want to sit down and you really want to deep dive this, is I would recommend a documentary called Dominion. Now, it's based in Australia, but Australia basically has the same laws and systems that we do. It's pretty much identical. And that really, really goes into depths of everything and shows you how honestly fucked this all is. And alongside that, I'd really recommend, because that's very graphic, I'd really recommend a speech by a guy called Gary Yourofsky called Best Speech Ever on YouTube. That speech is the one that really got me to have that click moment when it came to the kind of vegan side of stuff. I'd highly, highly recommend that. Or if you want to hear me talk about it personally, find my YouTube channel. I've actually done a couple of speeches in universities and stuff, and you can listen to me. You know, you've been listening to me now. They're quite old now, but and I'd probably say things a little bit differently now. But I think it'd be a good starting point anyway. And you are more than welcome to DM me anytime. If you want to talk about this more, even happy to hop on a call with you or anything. Obviously, you know, I don't do this for money. I don't do this for any sort of fame or anything like that. I just want people to wake up and animals not to get hurt ultimately, and not be abused and used. Yeah, my Instagram is at Chris Hines Official. If you're on Insta, feel free to follow me, and we can chat. I can send you stuff I've seen myself, and we can have a proper chat. I honestly, I very much appreciate it. Mate, Roscoe, chill out. Oh, dude, I'm glad you're now having a go at the trolls. I mean, that gives me some hope. Thank you so much. What are we talking about here? I'm just trying to see. There's a lot of people just talking some absolute nonsense here, isn't it? It's funny, isn't it? People like to come on here and be like, oh, but you're so triggered. And yet, look how many messages they're sending, just ranting in caps lock. I mean, caps lock is the it is the number one sign of triggered, isn't it? Lots of caps lock shouting. You guys wrapped up, are you? Are you still going? Okay. So yeah, so like I said, it's not just me here as well. We've got John here, we've got Mel and Steve here. They're also live streaming. If you want to get their opinions on stuff, hop over to their channels and see what's going on there as well. There's a link in my description to the Project Livestream app. Like I said, there's lots of us live streaming all over the country, all over the world today, and you can get a really good idea of what's going on. So yeah, if anyone's got any other questions or anything, please let me know. But I'm going to go take you back down to where the waste bit is, because obviously we've seen some chickens go in, so there may be a chance that, you know, we see some stuff going on there. It's pretty crazy. I'm getting followed around the whole time I'm here by security. But yeah, since I've been here, just to put it into perspective, I've probably seen go in, let's try and work this out. I mean, it must be nearly 3,000-4,000 birds. I mean, probably even more, to be honest. Yeah, it's like I get the trolling a bit, but they're gosh, they're spying bullets. Yeah, they really are. So, yeah, like I said, you know, for those of you new in, actually, it's been a little while. Let's refresh. Let me know who is actually watching right now. If you are a vegan, press 1. If you are here anti-vegan and you don't care about animals, give us number 2. And if you are open to a conversation, let's put up a number 3. But yeah, we're going to keep an eye on this here. This is where all the insides of the birds, obviously, I can't show you within the gas chamber. The gas chamber is here, in this very building. That is the gas chamber right there. And this is where you see the insides of those animals. You see the remains of the animals that we've just seen go in. See, and you can see, like, if you hear the passion, like this is Mel and Steve, by the way, 2 incredible actors. I really encourage you to go and follow them. They come out to slaughterhouses like all the time. And their passion is just incredible, honestly. They're extremely inspirational couple. You know, and it was only a few years ago that they themselves were not vegan. And they saw, you know, hold on. If you want to see the gas chamber, I can quickly show you.
Come and have a look inside this evil place.
See, so this is the actual gas chamber right here. Right here. That is the gas chamber. This is where those animals will be killed. See, instantly, look what happens. We go near it, they want to close it. Why are they so reluctant to show us? We didn't run in. Did you see us run in? We didn't actually run in. We just filmed, but they're so paranoid that they've got to close it down the moment we get there, because, oh my God, we might show everyone what's going on. And just for the record here, okay, we are having to do activism here in the way we are because they will not work with us. We tried. I tried personally. I had a meeting with the actual manager here to try and organise something, and we organised an arrangement where they would stop the trucks for us so we could see the birds. All right. One person tried to, basically, in the winter, they put these big sheets over the top, And one person, because they couldn't see through, just put their phone underneath, and suddenly they were like, no, we're not doing the agreement anymore, blah, blah, blah. You know, trying to think like, you know, they've been doing us a favour, where realistically we're doing them a favour because we're the activists. And yeah, so, and then they just refused to do it. So we were like, well, I'm sorry, then we'll do what we want and you can just pub with it. And since then, we've just had to come and do what they want. They just get security. They don't talk to us or anything. But we sat down with them and we said, look, this is what we want to do. We want to see the birds. We don't want all of this and everything. And yeah, they start kicking off. So Loki reminds me of the Scientology runs the way. The closer it literally is, honestly. Like when you actually, it's funny you say that, because when you really think about what's going on with this, like it's funny because people always say like, you know, veganism's a cult and stuff like that, don't they? You know, or veganism is a religion or something like that. Like it's very much the other way around if you think about it. Like, you know, we have this, you know, when we're, you know, just as normal people, we have this thing, don't we, right? We worship the god of bacon and everything, like, you know, like, you know, it's just like for some reason bacon is just put on this pinnacle of anything. You don't see us doing that with like broccoli or anything like that. And you know, it's so kind of like, you can't come in here, you can't do this, you can't do that. And all we want to do is be open as possible, expose everything, show everything, and let the public decide. But they are so scared. Like, why? This is meant to be normal, right? This is meant to be what every single person here supports. And you know, this is the normal British food system in this case being here. What's there to hide? What is there to hide, really? But obviously they do, because they know that if people see this stuff, you end up going, this is fucked, and I don't want anything to do with it. And that's what happened with me originally. I I was happy in my McDonald's. Next day, watched a video for basically this band called Goldfinger's punk band. Put a video on their album with a song called Free Me, and the video to the song was about an animal in captivity, and the video was all like slaughterhouses and that kind of stuff. And I watched that and I was just like, I'm done, I'm not supporting that shit anymore. Like instantly gave it up there and then. I was like, nah, this ain't me. I've always been someone who, you know, loved animals and everything. You know, and I was just like, nah, this ain't for me. I'm not being a part of that. And it woke me up in a big way. Hence why I'm an animal rights activist now. It's allowed in my religion. I don't care. Okay, let's actually talk about religion for a second. I don't care what is allowed in your religion. Just because something is allowed doesn't mean you should do it, right? There's a lot of things that are allowed in the world, but we don't do them. And this is what I would like you to consider. You have a choice. There is nothing in any religion that mandates you where you have to abuse animals or exploit animals in any way. In fact, almost every religion talks against it. I don't want to go into detail about religion because this is not what our conversation is about right now. But whether you are a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, a Hindu, a Sikh, a Buddhist, any of these, if you look at the real crux of most religions, you know, they are meant to be based on compassion for others and everything. This is not compassion for others at all. This is horrific abuse, violence, exploitation, okay? And there is nothing in any of the scripture that says you need to continue to do this at all, okay? So I really would like anyone to consider that. You know, like I said, I'm not here to talk about religion. I'm not here to say religion's right, wrong, or anything. All I'm saying is, when it comes to religion, if you're religious yourself, there ain't no excuse to continue supporting this. There really is not. Any compassionate God wouldn't. You think compassionate God wants slaughterhouses? You think compassionate God wants to send those thousands and thousands of birds into a gas chamber to get their head cut off? Think about it that way. I had a friend who was vegan and then ate meat and then left veganism. Well, they clearly wasn't vegan then, were they? God allowed it, so I am eating meat. Okay, so God also allowed slavery, so I'm guessing you're taking up slavery as well, yeah? If not, you're a hypocrite. You can't pick and choose the bits you want to use, bits you don't. Right, there's another truck full of chickens here. Let's again show you the victims, okay? And tell me how God justifies this, right? Why is God cool with this? There's a bit of drama going on here. See, look, all these birds. See, tell me how your loving God thinks it's okay for this individual right here. Why should they be getting their head cut off today? You want to try and explain that? Like I said, I have no problem with religion. You want to be religious? Be religious. Do not use religion to justify violence to others, though. That is how we draw the line. So bear with me because I'm just trying to take some photos. I'll try and... See, I can... Actually, if I flip it around, you can see what I can see on the camera here. So yeah, that's just another truck full of thousands and thousands of lives. Thousands and thousands of lives. They're about to go into that gas chamber I showed you. And you want to try and defend that. People in here are trying to defend this. Here's more. Here's even more. Think how many birds you've seen just on this live stream. And then think about this on a global scale. Think how many lives are going through this shit right now. Right now. It's disgusting. It needs to stop. There is no justification for this whatsoever. Okay? And I don't care if something's legal. Slavery was legal at one point. Didn't make it okay. Bullfighting's legal. Doesn't make it okay. The rodeo is legal in the US. Doesn't mean it's okay. Legality does not mean that something is necessarily moral. Okay? Loads of screwed up things have been legal in their time, and we have learnt moving forward that they have been completely and utterly wrong to do. This is another one of those things. We can't use it's legal as an excuse. Animals are kind of property. Well, yeah, they are. I'd agree with you. In the eyes of society currently, they are property, and that's the problem. We should not be seeing other living beings as property. They have their own wills, their own life. They are not objects to own. We should not be owning other living beings. We have learned through history that that is an abhorrent, disgusting thing to do. And this is just another example of this. I'm sorry for being such a jerk. I won't become vegan, but why shouldn't I call you... Hold on. You're being like, sorry for being a jerk, but I'm going to continue to exploit these animals. Why should I respect that? Why should I respect what you're saying? Why am I not going to... I'm sorry if what I say offends you in any way, but I'm just being honest. And I was you before, okay? I have been in your position. I was once someone who paid for birds, cows, pigs, all these other animals in the world to be exploited and abused. I was one of those people, okay? I learned, I changed, okay? Because I understand now that it's wrong, okay? Turning around and saying you're not, you've got to put it in different words. Instead of saying, I will never be vegan, you might as well say, I will never stop exploiting and abusing others. I will never stop, paying for chickens to get their heads cut off. That is what you say. Veganism, just so people know exactly what it is basically, it's just a basic philosophy that we do not exploit animals. We respect animals as their own beings and we leave them alone. It is simple as that. It is no different to being someone who says, I'm not going to go around and punch and kill humans because it's wrong to do. It's the same philosophy, just towards animals. We just do our best to leave them alone as much as possible and don't put them through things like this. It's really that simple. So to say that you will never be that, I'm not going to be that, is saying I'm never going to be a person who ever respects animals. I'm never going to be a person who's going to stop supporting the exploitation. Does that make sense? I just want people to really understand this, and I am passionate, but I want to speak honestly, and I hope that whether you like me or don't like me, you at least appreciate that I'm trying to be honest with you. I'm not someone who's gonna, I'm not a politician. I'm not here to bullshit you. I'm here to speak honestly about what happens to the animals, and that is it. That is it. I've got no other agenda. I'm not asking for your donations. I'm not asking for your emails. I'm not asking for anything for me personally whatsoever. All I'm asking is, you might listen to what I say. We can have a conversation, and you might make some, better choices moving forward in regards to animals. And I hope you can appreciate that. Be a man and do what needs to be done. Protect the kids, not our food source. How about you protect the kids and protect animals? Can you not do two things at once? Do you think we're only capable of doing one thing? Do you think I'm only like, I'm only going to protect animals, but fuck kids? Like, people could support more than one thing at a time, right? The thing is, you're probably supporting neither. What are you doing? Probably nothing. You're just here bitching and moaning on a live stream. You're probably not. Do you run a kids charity? Are you a child activist? Why are you not live streaming? About kids and stuff. You're not doing anything. You're here bitching and moaning about someone trying to stand up for animals, trying to make yourself feel better. Harsh words maybe, but like I said, I'm here to be honest with you. I'm not here to sugarcoat things and try and be your mate. I will be respectful to people who are respectful to me, and there's been some great people in here so far that have been that, and I really appreciate them. But if you're just going to come up with bullshit excuses, I'm just going to call you out for it, to be fair. I raise my own chickens. I don't care. Like, so what? So you keep other living beings captive, so then you can either take their eggs and exploit them for those, or you send them off to slaughter. That's not a good thing, dude. That's not a good thing. Like in what world is that a good thing? Like, we've got to realise this isn't just about industrial farming. This is about using and exploiting animals across the board. We shouldn't be messing with them. It doesn't matter whether they come from a free-range farm, whether they come from a big factory farm, whether they're in someone's back garden or anything. None of them should be there. We shouldn't be owning other living beings to profit from, or to exploit for our own gains. Like, this is what I'm trying to get people to wake up to. When you walk and talk, you kill germs, right? Okay. So you're a germs rights activist now, are you? Okay. What else have we got here? Local. If we are top of the food chain, getting a cage of weapons in hands, feet them up the lion or tiger. Yeah, we are far, far from top of the food chain. Yes, we have guns. You get rid of guns and weapons, we're fucked. You think you're going to survive against a shark? You got no chance, mate. No chance. Respect your approach. Thank you. Sorry, it's really the sun is really bright today, so it's difficult to see the screen. But let's do another catch up anyway. I want to know, because obviously it cycles different people all the time. 1 in the chat if you're vegan. 2 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. If you are someone who's for animal exploitation. If you literally think animal abuse is fine. Number 2. And if you're open-minded and you're interested in maybe having a conversation. Number 3, let's see who is in here. Let's try and have a good chat, okay? Definitely not anti-vegan. That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. I'll take you as an open-minded then. I appreciate that. And if people have got genuine questions, then feel free to ask. Like, literally, I will answer questions as long as they're actually relevant, decent questions. Okay, there's more chickens. I don't know if I'm going to over to them. Okay, I'm going as fast as I can.
Full chest.
Disgusting. Stop beeping!
So yeah, more and more animals going in. Obviously, activists getting irritated here. I mean, beeping the horn and things, scaring the animals inside. I mean, they don't give a shit about the animals. Like, they honestly don't. These places want to claim, oh yeah, we're all for animal welfare and all for this and that. They honestly don't give 2 shits. But yeah, there is a bit of drama going on. But anyway, I don't want to focus on human drama. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about the animals. I'm just trying to find some shade so I can actually see if you guys have written anything here. So bear with me. Okay. We need you in the schools teaching the kids how to speak and debate. Thank you, I appreciate that. I have actually done school talks. If you go to my YouTube channel, I've done talks in multiple universities on the subject of animal rights. I've also spoke in multiple countries on this subject as well. This is something that's not new, a new thing for me. I've been doing this for many years. I'd love to do more school talks. If you if you have a school and need someone to come and talk, I will gladly do it. Feel free to get in contact. I will gladly do it. I don't want paying for it or anything. I'll do it for nothing. Yeah, let me know. But yeah, I do appreciate that. Hold on. Protect germs. Why you like fuck germs but protect animals? Germs are bacteria, dude. They try and you're allowed to defend yourself, right? You're allowed to get rid of germs. Like, are you serious? Like, are you that dumb? I'm gonna call you out. I'm sorry. Are you that stupid that you think germs are on the same level as chickens, cows, pigs, horses, elephants, and stuff like that? It's ridiculous. Like, what a ridiculous thing to say, and everything. Like, you're germs rights activist. And this, okay, let's just say, okay, let's use your argument. I'm going to take your argument to the logical extension. Let's just say I'm an absolute germ murderer, right? I don't give a shit about germs. I will breed germs in a petri dish and then I'll throw them out the window. I'll be the most cruel person to germs ever. That does not justify you supporting any of this that's going on still. None of it. Okay? You can try and make me out to be the biggest hypocrite you want. Right? I could literally be here eating a McDonald's burger, wearing a fur coat. I could be a hunter. I could have my own pig farm. That doesn't mean that anything I'm saying is incorrect. You get that, right? It's what's known as an appeal to hypocrisy. It's known as a logical fallacy, which basically means shit argument. Okay? It doesn't matter. You can, I get this stuff all the time, and it's quite pathetic, really, that people want to be like, but what about germs? How about the stuff that we can actually do something about, mate? How about all these chickens that you probably support going into this gas chamber? What's your excuse for that? Answer that question. Honestly, people come out with so much crap. We're literally talking about animals getting their heads cut off, and people want to say, oh, but plants have feelings. What about germs? My God, can you imagine this if this was like, I don't know, let's say we're having a debate about Palestine or something and someone brought up germs. You're like, this is a truck going past again. More birds, more birds. This is what you're paying for. If you support this industry, you're paying for them. You're paying for them to go inside this gas chamber and get their heads cut off. That's what you're paying for. Stop water evaporating. I kind of lost on what the conversation's about now. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. You're such a germ abuser. Okay, I'm going to try and go into the shade a little bit because I cannot see what you guys are writing. I'd like to obviously interact and reply to you guys. It's a little bit better here. So, oh God, you can tell they're killing in there. I just inhaled like God knows what. Right, bear with me. I've got a leather jacket. If I went vegan, we'll have to get rid of it because the cow is already dead and such. Okay, that's a genuine question. Thank you so much for that one. So people have got mixed opinions on this, okay? Like, yeah, the damage is already done, okay? I kind of appreciate, that the damage is already done there. But what you've also got to think about is by wearing a leather jacket, you are still perpetuating the idea that these animals are clothing, that they should be used for us. So what I would encourage you to do is swap that out as soon as you can. Get rid of it. It was never meant to be a jacket. that was a living, that was someone. Your jacket was someone. You know, you got to think about it. If you're wearing a human skin jacket, I know that seems a bit kind of out there, but you'd probably, you'd probably go, oh fuck that, I don't want anything to do with that. And I think that's kind of what you get to. But I do understand that people, don't want to be wasteful and things like that. But I would encourage you to get rid of them as soon as possible, if I'm honest. But anyways, guys, I got to wrap up. I want to give a shout out to all these amazing activists that have also been live streaming behind me. This is Mel and Steve and John. Mel and Steve are the brains behind the project that we're doing today, Project Livestream. Mel and Steve, Mel is the brains, Steve is the brawn. Please go check out the link for the Project Livestream app. There are loads of other people continuing this, from all over the country, all over the world. Please tune in, have a chat with them, see some other perspectives. I really appreciate all you guys that have come in with good questions. All the trolls, get fucked. You've done nothing but boost my algorithm. So thank you for that. And stop being animal abusers. And for all the people that have actually listened and stuff, I really do appreciate it. I really hope I've given you something to think about. Please go and watch the film Dominion on YouTube, or Land of Hope and Glory if you're particularly UK based. Feel free to DM me, Chris Hines Official, on Instagram if you have any questions whatsoever. I'm more than open to conversation for those of you that are not stupid triggered trolls. Respect to all of you. And please make sure you go follow these incredible activists. So again, Mel and Steve, John, ARA, you can find, they're not streaming on the app now, so you can't find them. But Google them and you'll find them, YouTube them and you'll find them. And hopefully we'll see you guys again on another stream. And be nice to the animals, guys. Thank you very much.